Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we were in the middle of a lecture on Bhakti Sandarbha. So let us continue from where we left yesterday.
From Vishnu Purana, he quotes Prahlad Maharaj as...
Is the audio clear to you all?
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you very much.
saying, "It's not by my own power that the tusks of these elephants, which were as sharp as the tips of a thunderbolt, got smashed. It is only the effect of continuous remembrance of Bhagavan Janardana. His continuous remembrance destroyed all the calamities that I was subjected to, including these tusks." So he had faith in contrast to the lack of faith in Duryodhana or others that are performers of offense, because the performance of offense is it diminishes faith in the holy name or bhakti itself. So if you go back to that list, we'll go back to the list. Third in the list, absorption in things that detract one from faith in Bhagavan. And the example is Bharat Maharaj. And the example, in many cases, it's very unusual that some that attains the stage of Bhava Bhakti falls. And the answer that's given, the explanation that's given, is not he can't fall, except in the case where there was some, it doesn't identify what the offense was, but by some prior offense. And for that reason, he slackened in his bhakti, and he became attached to the deer. Here's a verse that Jiva Goswami refers to. Bharat Maharaj, this is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5. Bharat Maharaj was overwhelmed by an uncontrollable desire, which was manifest in the form of the deer. Due to the fruitive results of his past deeds, that's the language in the Bhagavatam, the BBT translation, the result of his past deeds, but specifically commentary says it's an offense. He made some offense, doesn't identify what it was, and he's reaping the fruit of that offense. His bhakti got blocked by that offense. He fell down from mystic yoga, austerity, and worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because he was on this most elevated platform. And then slackening of bhakti. We heard a little bit about slackening of bhakti. Maybe more than I had intended, but the laxity was the word that was used in Anuchhed 141. And here's some commentary. Because of this slackening of bhakti, one becomes increasingly fixated on happiness and distress related to the threefold miseries, the happiness or the miseries of these threefold things: body and mind, love the living being. So this is very similar to what Damayanti was sharing this morning, the bodily conception, that little outpouring that you shared with all of us. This is, a slackening of bhakti comes because of that. Too much. It's like we take care of these things. We're not negligent, not irresponsible, but we're not. The happiness and distress that we experience, that we live by, is not determined by the configuration of these things. Rather, it says disinterested in such types of material happiness and distress. And then from the slackening of bhakti, The remaining one is pride. And he gives as the example, there's a long anuchad about this one, but pride and daksha, and because he was who he was, and because his daughter was married to Lord Shiva, and so there's Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma sitting in a seat of honor, and there's Daksha wailing about, my daughter's married to this person, speaking, vilification of Lord Shiva because of his pride. And he had some problems as a result. He lost his head, literally. And then took another birth, and then it made the same, because his pride wasn't taken away when his head was taken away. He continued in his next birth. And so pride is very dangerous. But it's number 5 out of this list, and it starts with crookedness, not being straightforward. And then next and next and next and next. Those of you that like Raghunath Das Goswami and his writings, you know Manashiksha. In the first verse of Manashiksha, he gives a formula. How, if oh my dear mind, if you desire eternal residence in Braja, absorbed in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, he gives 2 requirements. The 2 requirements is giving up pride. Hitva dambam. Sada. Always give up pride in all circumstances. It's the number 1 debilitator, pride. And another is this necessity of taking unprecedented shelter, with enthusiasm and special care to exalted Vaishnavas that have this capacity themselves. So here's the first verse. It's got a nice recording. I hope the sound system works.
Sadadambam hitva kururatim apurvamatitaram aye svantar bratash chatubirabiyache dritapada.
Lines. The third line. Sadadambam hitva. Hitva means give up. Dambam is pride. Sada, always give up pride. Completely give it up. And if you to get this stage of rati, you apurva matitaram, with unprecedented and excessive. That's how it's translated by at least Bhanu Swami. It's very strong attachment for the devotees of the Lord. And the further verses describe which devotees, etc. So now we're going back to Bhakti Sandarbha 153, because we've covered the topic of how offense can lead to debilitation of bhakti and different stages. And then he makes this big summary. Truth is blocked by 100 obstacles. Austerity is blocked by 1,000 obstacles. Bhakti to Govinda is blocked by 10,000 obstacles, if one is insincere. From Vishnu Dharma Purana. And commentary on this is Vishwanath. The whole bhakti process can be summarized as follows. The advanced devotee who chants the holy name of the Lord in a perfectly offenseless manner and is friendly to everyone can actually relish transcendental taste of glorifying the Lord. Now, this is specific to chanting, but the results of such realization is reflected in the cessation of material desires, etc., which is very similar to that verse that we heard this morning, 7:7:33. Prahlad is speaking to his classmates, the overcoming the six faults, Shadvargas, or the root of karma. Those six. Same here. Cessation of material desires. So karma is I want to enjoy, and there are different labels to what that enjoyment is, but it's not real enjoyment, it's disease. And bhakti has the power to remove that disease. Cessation of all material desires, etc. And so that's Anucheda 153 to 159. Very interesting section. Here's that little list again. Crookedness, lack of faith in scripture or lack of faith in bhakti, absorption in things that detract one from firm faith in Bhagavan, slackening of bhakti, and pride in executing acts of bhakti. And I just added one more slide because I like the message. This is Bhaktivinoda Thakur with his nice beard during the Kartik Vrata. When you chant with your fingers on the mala, you should feel that your fingers are touching the lotus feet of Krishna. Now, I don't feel that, but that's Bhaktivinoda Thakur's giving some directive. Okay. So there we are, Anucheda 153 from Bhakti Sandarbha. And the importance of straightforwardness or simplicity as opposed to crookedness and other consequences of offense. And the benefit that can come from shadow bhakti, that can, because bhakti, as long as it's without offense. I mean, the mouse that got his mouth burned and lost his life didn't make an offense. He was crawling on the altar, licking up the ghee. Probably was like a strong mouse, lots of ghee. Until he finished. Yes, Madhumati, it was time for questions. What time are we supposed to end? Because we started at 6. 7:30. Okay.
The examples that you gave, Maharaj, in both the cases of King Nirga and the king and the queen.
Yes.
In both the cases, we see that lack of bhakti or offense. One was not having enough faith, and the other one was that they committed some offense.
So the lack of faith is an offense. But he was thinking it's exaggeration. The glories of bhakti are artavad. That's one of the offenses against chanting of the holy name. It's one of the offenses against devotional service. The glories of devotional service, it's hype, it's hyperbole. It's exaggeration, it's not real.
In both those cases, they became a lower birth. And our understanding, at least my understanding, has been that this process of bhakti will protect one from the most
lower birth.
And so how do we understand, and especially like, yeah, I mean, I'm like, okay, commit so many offenses while we're performing, whether our Kartik vow or whether our sadhana, and here the person, they just take a lower birth. So it's kind of a little discouraging.
Well, it's enlightening. Enlightening in this sense. Let's put your question in a different light. That statement that you're guaranteed not taking a lower birth, is there a qualifier or not? Supposing you're an offensive person, you do devotional service, and you're an offensive person. Guaranteed human birth. There's consequences to offense. And did that consequence nullify he in both cases, they again got the opportunity for devotional service and achieved spiritual perfection in both cases. But there was interrupted. They got a lower birth, but their bhakti wasn't destroyed, and there was a consequence for their offense. What do you think?
Well, a lot of things are going in the head.
Okay.
Well, we have Bharat Maharaj, that he takes a lower birth. But like you said, the result is, he attains perfection. Then we have example of Ajamil. I mean, the other person sees Yamaraj, but Ajamil, who did all what he did, he doesn't get to see Yamaraj, even though he just chanted
Narayana.
Yeah, Narayana, and he wasn't calling out to Narayan. But then I understand that he wasn't. He was chanting in an offenseless mood.
No. Abhas.
Abhas, yes. And so how do we? It's just some different. And then we see the mouse just goes.
Bhakti Abhas and Nam Abhas are powerful. That is one of the lessons in Bhakti Sandarbha. Without offense, Bhakti Abhas is very powerful. Even from a non-human species, Bhakti Abhas is very powerful, without offense. The emphasis goes to beware of offense. It's serious business. Serious business. Should I give some examples? I mean, from scripture, and then real life. We don't. Who can say somebody or other in ISKCON offended another Prabhu? Is there consequence? Guaranteed a human life because they did a little devotional service, or they a lot of devotional service, or whatever. But they're offensive. There's consequence. Now, what's that consequence? We don't decide. Some higher authority decides, but there's consequence. So, what that consequence is? Higher authorities decide. In these two cases, two very authoritative scriptures, Vishnu Purana and Srimad Bhagavatam, they had the consequence that they got. The curse of a brahmana. He became a lizard. And it was upheld because something can't be without sanction of Krishna, it can't happen. So Krishna sanctioned it. He who says, guaranteed a human birth, that means implicit without offense. What about if there's offense? That same guarantee is no longer a guarantee. Better watch out.
That's pretty heavy.
Yeah, it is. It is. Here's one that I have come to appreciate. Dvidvida, who became not just an animal, but he became an enemy of Krishna. And what was his offense? His offense was he offended Lakshmana twice. And because of offending Lakshmana twice, he became a demon. You know the story. Okay, so there's consequence to offense. It's not, rules don't cover over offense. Now, then comes the next question, what to do if you've made some offense? That's, that's in the upcoming Anucheds, but that's another topic yet. But there's consequence for offense. And it's severe. It can be severe. Someone's got their hand up behind you.
Hare Krishna. We'll pause here for today. Any reflections? Very pretty heavy stuff, as Maharaj put it. We heard today and also yesterday. Any reflections? I was struck by the statement. We hear again and again that bhakti is unstoppable. Even the sins and the other things cannot stop it. Your birth or the circumstances cannot stop it. So that was one thing. But here we saw that more than austerities and more than other things, bhakti is blocked. Bhakti to Govinda is blocked by 10,000 obstacles. But the qualifier is if one is insincere. So it is the sincerity. I was shocked when I first heard that statement. How can bhakti be stopped so easily? But then the qualifier was if one is insincere. So sincerity in our devotional service is of great importance. That is what this Anuched is all about. Okay, yes, Chennakesar Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Chennakesar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes,
Today that remaining three parts of bhakti for this slackening of bhakti and the other one absorption in the things that detract one from firm faith on Bhagavan, pride in executing the acts of bhakti. That explanation I like very much, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. This slackening is one thing sometimes many of us suffer from when we go through the devotional service program for a long time, then suddenly there is slackening. So by this lecture, at least we know why the slackening is happening. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Oh yes, one after another. Yes, Priyadarshan Prabhu, you go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Maybe it's a question, or maybe I didn't understand properly, or something like that. But these 5 stages of falling down from bhakti, right? Are they like one after sequentially happens, or like they can start with any other ones and we can fall down to any of the stages like that? Can you please explain, Mataji?
He said sequentially, Prabhu.
Okay.
That Kautilyam, or that the starting point is that Kautilyam or the duplicity. That gives rise to lack of faith in Shastra.
Okay.
And then comes the lack of faith in Bhagavan himself and obsessive absorption in unfavorable things. That is a symptom of that, actually.
Okay.
So sequentially, he said, one after another, all this will appear.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Madhavi Sundari Mataji. Hare Krishna. Madhavi Sundari Mataji at Pranavalabha Prabhu, you unmute.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Dandavat Pranam. I have one small question, Mataji. How straightforwardness will be simplicity, like as Maharaj said? Can you please explain more? Because if we straightforwardness, like we want to speak whatever is there, like as it is with the devotees or like that, then how the relationship will be later? Like, Miss, can you please say?
Yes, I can get your point. So we have to follow the instructions of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Anudvega karam vakyam, satyam priyam hitam. So in that order, Mataji. So you cannot agitate somebody by our speech, even if it is the truth. Anudveha karam vakyam. Do not agitate anybody. That means we are careful enough to speak. And then comes whether it is the truth that we are speaking. Do we know it to be the truth, or it is just gossip or something overheard? And then whether it is going to be beneficial to that person. If discussing that is, if at all it is beneficial. So, Priyam. So even if you want to communicate criticism or something, so lovingly, so it has to, how it is to be conveyed. So in that order also is important. That is what one of the teachers told us while describing this verse. So we have to be very careful in that we follow all the 4 things that Krishna has told us in that. That is all I know, Mataji. But there may be other people knowing better than me. Anyone else would like to answer Madhavi Sundari Mataji's question? Add anything?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Simplicity is actually opposite of crookedness. You remember that story with Narada, and cobbler, and the Brahmana. When Narada was going to Vaikuntha, the cobbler, he was passing through the cobbler and the Brahmana. They were asking, you are going to Vaikuntha, just to ask Narayana when he will take us to Vaikuntha. So when Narayana came back, the Brahmana asked what was Narayana doing. He was telling that he was trying to insert elephant into the hole of a needle. Then he was laughing. How can you insert elephant in the middle of a needle? But when the same question was put to the Brahmana, that cobbler, he said, yes, he can do it from a small seed. He can grow a apple tree. He can always do it. So that Brahmana was so simple and straightforward. And when he asked, when you will go to Vaikuntha, Narada told that you will go this lifetime itself. When the Brahmana asks you, it will take more lifetimes further. So when the person is crooked, that's why you have so many obstacles in bhakti. That's what I feel. And one more thing in this class. So you should feel, when you are chanting, you should feel that you are touching the feet of Lord Krishna, lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Recently, the Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that Mahamantra syllables, each syllable represents some kind of prayer. That is like that, give me energy, give services, like that, that each syllable he has given, how to pray. I was thinking, by touching the feet, if you through the chanting, is actually offering prayer, like that, First it starts with, Radharani, please make my material attachment go away. Krishna, let me be more attracted to you, like that, let me make made for doing like devotional service banane karke liye. Then you give me devotional service. Wherever you go, take me. Like that, it's a sequence of prayers given for each syllable. But I was thinking, by just touching the lotus feet and you do chanting, it is actually offering prayer. And it just, hearing this lecture, I felt I could combine both. I am very much happy with this lecture. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for your sharing. Yes, the story that you told about the cobbler, that is a very, very nice example of what simplicity versus the lack of faith. So simply putting the faith on Krishna, how a simple and straightforward devotee will know, instead of applying our own intelligence, little intelligence that God has given us. Yes, Prabhu. And all those description about the each syllable of the holy name is given by Sachinandana Swami in his book also, Nectarian portion of the holy name. In that I have read that. Yes, it's a very nice piece of thing to contemplate on. Anyone else? Hare Krishna. Anybody else would like to share? Yes, Mataji or Prabhu? Vinodini Mataji or
Yes. Oh, yes.
Shankun Prabhu? Yes, Prabhu.
I have something to just as a comment, but there is also a question, or rather a poll and further thing on top of it, Mataji, based on today's class. One, whenever we talk about all of this crookedness, or when there is lack of faith, we are too absorbed in something, etc. These kind of topics are typically spoken to those devotees who have been practicing for some time. Otherwise, it's too heavy, because as you were also mentioning, am I so bad? I'm spending so much time for God. In spite of it, I have to spend some more, do something else in addition to let go of these bad habits. I recognize maybe it is in me, but why should I do anything more? In other words, there is the burden of wanting, a burden of so many additional things that I have to let go of for perfection, when all that I was told in the beginning is you just chant, everything will be fine. And suddenly it seems that my behavior, my thought process, my consciousness, everything has to be changed now. It's not just one chanting of the holy name as such. And so I just cannot be myself. The real burden is people feel that for so many years we have lived in a particular way, and now I cannot be myself. We ascribe those particular traits or qualities, like this is how I'm going to speak, this is how I'm going to behave, and now I cannot even be that. And that's very tough for most people, actually. So it's tough. While recognizing it, the comment that I had was that not just here into this path, but in general, in any spiritual path or any spiritual organization, also for that matter, usually certain kinds of people enter into that spiritual path. And it so happens they are like a little dominant personality types. Somehow they develop into this dominant personality types where they believe that I lack something, I have to gain something, and therefore I'm going to follow this path or follow this organization or something like that. And by doing that, I'll be in control of myself. And very much, while they do that, they very much recognize that they are not there, but like say, I don't have concentration. So I'm going to focus on this and have some concentration. Or for some people, it will be, this is what the ideal life should be. Modern life, especially city life, has changed things significantly. Now you have to go back to the basics and live simple, simple living, high thinking. And that in simple living, I just focus on God, worship of God, chanting of the holy name of God, forget everything else. Various ways. It's basically a strong tendency in an individual to let go of something and to achieve something for oneself. And one is a work in progress in this life. And the surprising thing that happens is, while one is a work in progress on these aspects, on accepting certain things, rejecting certain things, following certain things, one is a work in progress for a good portion of one's life. But one tries to get one's spouse, one's children, one set of community of friends whom one has, everybody else to follow that which one has not got perfection in. It becomes an expectation. We start expecting our children should do this. This is not the right thing to do. Why are my children doing this? Or why is my spouse doing it? Or I live in a community of devotees. Why others aren't like this? It becomes very high. I find this often to happen, that we expect others to achieve what we have been unable to achieve. Or in other words, our frustration with our own failures finds its natural outlets on those innocent people who surround us. So that's something that we have to be careful of. Whenever we are expressing this frustration on others, we should note that, hey, is it really that I want something good for them? Or is it also tinged with, I couldn't do it and I want them to do it? So that's just one thought here, Mataji. Now coming to the question. This group here, many of you, or some of you, are disciples of His Holiness Prabhupada Maharaj. Many of you have been hearing from him. So you like his hearing, that's why you've been here in these classes for quite some time. So maybe you can call him as a Shiksha Guru, at least for some of you. If not, he's your other Diksha Guru as such. And as Sanatan Goparaj Prabhu was speaking a few minutes ago about Bhakti Vinod Thakur, saying that when he touches the beads, it's like touching the feet of Lord Krishna. The beads of chanting, it's touching the feet of Lord Krishna. And Maharaj said, I don't feel that. Bhakti Vinod Thakur could feel it. Maharaj said, I don't feel it. So some of you are disciples in various ways, like Shiksha, Diksha, aspiring, whatever. Some aren't. You're just generally curious. What do you feel? Is it, do you ever, I would like you to raise your hands and express here to say, how many of you feel like, hey, I expect the person from whom I'm listening to be perfect, and here is this person himself saying imperfect. Some of you may feel, oh no, Maharaj is out of his humility, he is telling this. That's not the truth. It's just it's just humility coming into picture. Some of you may say, yes, it is true, and I can accept it. And some of you may say, if it is true, I don't know how I can accept it. I thought he's a perfect person. How can I have somebody as a guru who can be, at this basic level, what Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, while chanting itself, you should touch the feet of Krishna with the beads. He's not having it. What are your thoughts on it, devotees? That's what I want to know. Share Puri Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I mean, just because Guru Maharaj doesn't feel that way, it doesn't really mean that he's not perfect. Because actually, I find him to be perfect in so many ways. So each person will be different and they are unique in their own ways. So maybe Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he felt it. In fact, that I also like what Sanatan Baba Prabhu said. It was very nice. I mean, if we can feel it that way, probably it will help us to concentrate more in offenseless chanting. But Maharaj himself is so advanced, he is so elevated, probably, and he doesn't feel it that way. So it's fine. I mean, I didn't think that it has to be linked to something that it is related to perfection or something. That's my thought. Prabhu. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam.
Yes, yes.
Prabhu, I think in a different way. I think the person whom I am listening willingly, I'm not forced. The one whom I am listening for my upliftment, for my spiritual progress or something, I think I have no rights, not even a fraction of 0% or negative. I have no rights to judge him. I don't think myself worthy to consider him or even think about it that whether he is actually advanced or not. I mean,
But
it,
when
it
you say
does.
this, Mataji, tomorrow, like say for example, I'm just giving a wild example. Shah Rukh Khan would come and he will start speaking about Bhagavad Gita. Say
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
he just because he's Shah Rukh Khan is speaking on Bhagavad Gita, would I go or would you go and say I have
I
no
would
right to question
no,
Shah
but
Rukh?
I'm not going to listen to him willingly.
Huh.
Not at least the Bhagavad Gita. He's talking some crap, that's a different thing, but I'm not going to listen Bhagavad Gita from him. I'm saying if I am willingly listening someone, I'm giving my free will choice here. If I'm listening someone freely, my will with my will, there is no question of judging that person.
Okay.
I have to
Okay.
be, I have to accept a place in his feet,
Hmm.
whether he is elevated, not elevated. Those questions are beyond my periphery.
Okay. So one question, a follow-up question to you, Mataji. What criteria do you choose before you decide to listen to that person? You're saying once I've chosen to listen, I cannot be judging here. That is okay. But what criterion or criteria do you choose prior to deciding to listen to the person?
Um, so one thing definitely um, is the people whom I am following or the people whom I feel whom I respect. So they are listening. So definitely that group is leading me to the right thing, and then I myself can feel the tinkling in my heart that when I'm listening to someone, whether I'm feeling I don't know whether my feeling is right or wrong, but I am feeling moving towards Krishna or away towards Krishna. So if someone's speaking or someone's talk is giving me a sense that at least I have not progressed or something, but I am moving towards Krishna, that feeling itself is sufficient. So I have to listen to the person whom I think is taking me towards Krishna.
Hmm.
So that
Hmm.
is the only thing. And I mean, that is my little feeling inside my heart, which and definitely the people whom I respect, they what they follow, so definitely they are taking me to the right path. But again on that also, this is my own feeling that there are two paths, towards the Krishna or away from Krishna. So that is what I can say, Prabhu, right? Immediately what is coming out of my mind. I'm not prepared for this question.
Okay. Sure. Sure. Yeah. It was an unprepared question. Sulochana Mataji, you had raised your hand. Maybe you brought it down. Can I hear from you?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandatna. I'm just seeing in other way around, Prabhu. Like so many acharyas we have seen, Narottama Das Thakur, the songs, each and everything. So at the last, they will say out of humility, like, when I will get, I am so fallen of all this ones and all like that. And here, after you telling like about Maharaj this statement, I heard from you. I'm not attentive in the class. So I thought like, I appreciate his straightforwardness. So he's not crooked. So he's telling like straightforward. So whatever is there, the truth, honestly, he is putting that thing. So as Shweta Mataji told, like, I'm so conditioned, so I don't have that much rights, and I don't have like that type of senses to understand the depth of his words behind that. So it's very difficult. So I don't want to go to in that depth why he told like this, why he haven't told, so he is perfect or not, like all these ones are not like that. So simply I respect, and I whatever we as like I'm seeing his disciples each and everyone. So I have respect. So I like his straightforwardness and honesty expressing this thing. And that only, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for saying this. By any means, Harisham Prabhu, are you in the call? It's Hema Sundari Mataji 2. Yes, sir.
No, Prabhu is not here.
Okay. Would you like to say anything or you're very busy with school? Hmm.
Yeah, little tied up, Prabhu, but my thoughts are also on same lines as Sulochana Mataji. Why should I analyze each person? Anyone here is not perfect. So when they say that I'm not perfect in this, that is okay. And he is perfect in many other ways, which we know. So I don't want to analyze why he said that, what it means and all those things. It's just, he's just opening his heart and sharing what he felt. That's it.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes,
In the
Prabhu.
sixth Ashtakam first, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says so many things about the holy name, and he says he is not having any anurag, he is not having any attachment. This is a style of telling things in such a way that it's like even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was told. Most of the things, the prayers also they say, Naratam Dasa and all those things. In that spirit, we have to take it. It's not that he is not having anything like that. But if this idea came, so at that time, whatever he thought, he has told. It is a simple thing. Whatever it has come to in his mind at that instant, he has told. It is in that way. That's what I feel. I may be wrong. Please correct me if I am wrong. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you for saying this. Just two more.
Sonali Jain had raised her hand for a long time, I saw. Sonali Jain
Sonali
was wanting to.
Hare Krishna, Madhuri. Thank you, Madhuri. So, for me, it is, if, anyway, even if the Maharaj is saying something, if I have a blind faith, like if I trust
No,
him,
Mataji, 1 minute. Are you in your Bluetooth earphone or something like that? Are you using that?
yes, yes, yes.
Can you use the direct
Hare
speaker?
Krishna. Now it is better too.
Definitely better. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So, for me, it is like if I trust someone, intelligence overcomes on that. So if somebody is saying something uh, without putting my intelligence into it, what is right or wrong, if that person is saying something that's true. So even if Maharaj is saying he is not perfect, that might be true. Means I don't know the definition of perfection, but he's the correct person. I mean, there is the blind faith. So uh, yeah, this is what I just wanted to say.
Okay. Chenna Keshav Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I am not eligible to judge both Maharaj's qualifications, but one thing I felt that whenever some devotees ask any specific questions about anything, if Maharaj doesn't know about that, if it is not mentioned in his scriptures, he always quote from scriptures. So and that's what I feel he is perfect. That's it. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Just two more devotees. Kumarika Mataji, your thoughts?
Yes, my take is there is no fixed criteria for perfection. Each acharya has got a different relationship with Krishna, and their realizations are quite different. So the way that Bhaktivinoda Thakura felt, it is not required that any advanced devotee should feel the same thing in his relationship with Krishna, without feeling that he is touching the lotus feet of the Lord whenever he is touching the beads. These are all special connections that everybody has got their unique way of attachment to Krishna. So I don't think that one criteria should be imposed on everybody else and everybody's realization will be same. So Maharaj said, yes, I don't feel it, but it is very elevated way of saying it. And as I also agreed with Sulochana Mataji saying that, yes, he is exemplifying the lecture and what is Arjavam or simplicity he is portraying to us.
Thank you. Thank you. And one last Dear Prabhu,
Yes, Prabhu.
your thoughts on my question, Prabhu.
Sorry, Prabhu, I was not there when you asked the question. Maybe if you can repeat, or I will ask somebody what's the question and can correct.
The question I had asked was, Maharaj said that Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when he was chanting on the beats, it was touching the feet of Krishna. But Maharaj said it is not for me. I don't feel it that way. So my question was, how do you take it, this line here? Is it that if Maharaj is just telling it out of humility, he's actually saying it, but out of shyness or something, he's saying, he's not revealing it? Or then comes the question, this perfection, probably this is at a stage of perfection, it is not required. Or no, Maharaj is already at a stage of perfection. Oh, I now have questions, why should I listen from him? What do you feel about it? That part, that the person from whom we are hearing is saying, I am not at a perfect level, so to say. I'm just taking it to the extreme level. What do you think about that?
When we hear from Maharaj, because we know Maharaj personally for many years, and hearing his lecture and in the yatras and a lot of personal interaction also we had. So from that, if Maharaj has to say that I'm not at that level or I'm not perfect, it's completely out of his humility, Prabhu. In case of Maharaj, I can certainly say this.
Okay, thank you. That's it, Kumari Kamataji. Nothing else from my side. Maybe it's already too late, 7:22. We can end here, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu. Let's end here and continue the lecture tomorrow. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna.